You know, I think it really woke Manny up a little bit, you know, because when I say it, it doesn't, you know, we're with each other for, you know, for a long time and so forth, but when the opponent said it, and then he came to me and he complained, he didn't complain, but just, did you believe what he said to me? You know, and, yeah, I think it woke him up a little bit. I think it was good for him.
Have you seen a difference in him in this training camp as opposed to past camps because of that?
Well, we had knockdowns in this training camp, and it's been the first time in a long time since the knockout stuff that we've had that. So that was a good sign.
How much do you think Manny, when he fought Rios, and also he mentioned it yesterday, does have the fact that he can get knocked out? I mean, he's got knocked out twice earlier, but this was in a high-profile fight that beat his career.
Yeah, well, you know, anyone can get knocked out if you get hit with the right shot. I mean, I don't care how good a team you had. I had 150 fights and 27 pro fights before I get knocked down or out my first time in my life. I thought it was fucking impossible. You know, and then all of a sudden it's reality, and you know, you just get hit you hit with the right shot, you'll go down. It's just part of life.
But when you said you thought it was impossible, when that vulnerability becomes reality, how does that?
I kind of fell apart. You know, the thing is, I didn't fight as brave as well. It bothered me a lot.
Jerry.
But Manny and I are completely different people.
Take my seat.
It doesn't bother him at all because he accepts it and he understands that. He assumes the risk going into the fight that you can be knocked out. He knows that. He said, I mean, he told me many times, if you don't do you get knocked out is knocked out in the sport, you pick the wrong sport. Because it is part of our life. You know, but with me, I was so hard-headed and just like, I didn't think anyone could hurt me.
None of that factored into the way he fought Rios. I mean, a lot of us thought
the way he fought Rios, he might have been able to jump on him a couple times and maybe take chances to knock him out, but we didn't want to do that in that fight because we made that mistake once before. And Rios is a bigger guy and he's not a bad puncher, and I think he's a little bit better puncher than typically, but you know, by numbers, it's a good idea. But the thing is, he's not a great puncher, but the thing is, he was a big, strong guy, so we didn't overdo it like we did in the Marquez fight.
Freddie. How's Manny's lateral movement, though? Is it going to be better for this fight?
His lateral movement is very good, yeah. We've been working on that quite a bit. That's the biggest thing.
That's a huge thing with him. You know, something with Mosley fought in a straight line a lot of time.
Yeah.
You get it moving to the side.
We're using a lot of angles, and hopefully that will nullify his offense and maybe turn it into a combination of shots. So we worked on that quite a bit.
Freddie, what about the compassion of Manny Pacquiao? He been shown compassion for his rivals in a few fights.
Yes, you know, he's told me on the mitts, like we talk sometimes when you're in the 30s and we talk about the strategy and what's going to happen. And he told me one day, he says, when I heard him, this is the combination I'm going to finish him with. And he's never said that before, and I was so happy that I heard that come out of his mouth and not mine. And so I think, I don't think he's going to have as much compassion in this fight as he has in some in the past.
Don't you think Bradley wants him to be aggressive and wants him to charge at him?
I hope so, because I think that's the best way to do it, because once you put Bradley in the ropes, his chin's up in the air when he's ordinary and he starts swinging. I hope that happens, yes.
So you're looking at the Roundtable fight where he backed up against the ropes and you kind of seem to just be throwing punches for the sake of throwing punches.
He squares up on the ropes, doesn't he?
He squares up and he's very wild and he's open down the middle.
But I'm just saying this, I don't think he wants to go to the ropes. I'm saying he wants Manny to charge him to do the bull and the matador thing, right?
Yes, but the thing is, we've worked on it enough that we work the angles and so forth, so we're gonna set traps and put him catch him in the corners and catch him on the ropes. So when he hits the ropes, Manny knows exactly what to do.
Freddie, the mindset of Tim Bradley is to obviously move and stick and all that. Your philosophy of trying to lure him into a slugfest, Bradley has that bravado that seems that he wants to go there. I mean, is that part of the mindset to try to get him to go?
Once he gets hit, he will go. It's just part of his it's part of his nature. That's something you can't take away from people. You can't change. When you hit Bradley, he will fight back. I mean, he's a brave guy. I mean, he's got balls, so he'll fight back. And that might be his downfall, but the thing is, he won't do it, I feel. I mean, yeah, I'm sure his trainer is trying to get him to box all the time, but, you know, hard head.
Does it seem that Bradley is a bit emotionally wound up for this fight because of the criticism he received after the first fight? And do you think that that would actually play against him in the rematch?
Well, you know, that was a fight that was a long time ago. I'm not so sure if he's so bothered by that so much. He's had some good things since then. And he's had a real tough fight with Ruslan. He fought well in his last fight. Because he outboxed him, very good fighter. But you know, say in the Ruslan fight, I still don't think that was the best fight in the world for him. He received a lot of damage in that fight, and hopefully remaining such combinations, he's going to be reminded of that.
What can Manny do differently than Provodnikov to, if he gets Bradley in some kind of trouble, to finish him off?
Well, you know, Ruslan hurt him early in the fight and got so excited. I mean, he was a young fighter and didn't pace himself through it. You know, he kind of just blew his load, and he lost like the next six to 8 rounds in a row. So, you know, I don't think Ruslan won that fight. I thought he had a knockout in the second round because I thought the referee missed that slip that he fell down twice from. But that's part of life, you know. That's the way it goes. But he definitely won. He definitely deserved the decision that night, even though he took a punishment. You know, that punishment could still haunt him a little bit.
Freddie, when you look at Tim's career, you know, he doesn't seem to be a guy vulnerable to being knocked out. He took those punches from Ruslan, one of the hardest guys. Look at what McCullough did to him. You know, Kendall Holt somersaulted him backwards. Remember, he knocked him over. And Bradley gets up, he gets knocked down, but he's like, he reminds me sort of of Tito Trinidad, where he can get knocked down and come back up and roll off a series of rounds.
That's why we're not going in there looking for a knockout by any means. I mean, we're going to fight our fight. We're going to win each round one at a time, and that's our goal. If a knockout comes, that's going to be a bonus, because we know this guy's never been knocked out before. He's a very resilient, tough guy. So, I mean, if the knockout comes out, it'll definitely be a bonus, for sure. It's not something we're not going out there looking to knock him out, though.
Freddie, how to maintain focus, a guy who is talking about to be president of a country?
Well, you know, I hope he becomes president of this country, too. That's, you know, that's something that's a whole different subject, and that's something that never comes up in the gym and never comes up in preparation for a fight. You know, it has no meaning. You know, just because we have ambitions of doing something else later in life doesn't slow him down on what he's doing at this point.
Do you think that this man is stronger than ever, mentally?
No, I won't say that, because you know I'm sure that knockout loss is still in his mind, and that's why he hears somebody, he'll be aggressive, but not overly aggressive like he once was.
Do you think Manny has something to prove this Saturday?
No, I don't think he has something to prove. I think he beat this guy once, and I think we'll beat him again. The thing is, we're just going to go out there and fight our fight.
You seem to think that, you seem confident that at some point Tim Bradley is going to give Manny an opportunity to land a big punch because he's going to exchange. But what if he doesn't? Who's the better boxer who wins a boxing match?
Well, we saw that once before, and I thought Manny won 10 rounds to 2. So, I mean, I think that proves who the better boxer is already, because we've already been in a boxing match with this guy, and I thought we dominated that boxing match.
Without the 2 issued feet.
Well, who cares about the feet? That's not, I mean, that has nothing to do with the decision or anything in the world. I mean, who gives a fuck about the feet? I mean, just because you have a fucking blister on your foot doesn't fucking make you, like, you're not getting, you're a fighter. You know, you get, like, a blister on your foot over for, come on. These guys are professional fighters. Blisters on feet is no fucking issue whatsoever.
Freddie.
Can any fighter learn something from the market?
I'm sure they can both learn from the Marquez fight, because Marquez is a very sharp counterpuncher, and I think Timothy learned a lot in that fight, and he fought very well. I thought he fought very well in that fight, and he actually became more of a counterpuncher himself in that fight.
No, I mean from the way.
Yeah, Manny learned not to jump in too soon, for sure. I mean, the thing is, it was just 1 second. He was the 10-second ball, and he wanted to finish it and be able to wait until the next round. I think we might not be here. That Manny does jump in from outside sometimes from too far, and he can be caught jumping in. So we worked on not doing that and using more lateral movement like we were asking earlier. So hopefully that won't happen again.
For the last fight, Manny was often able to land a jab, straight left hand, but then Bradley would go under with other shots. And it seems to me that Manny's very important to land long combinations. That's a specialty. Yeah. What's he going to do in this fight to change that?
Well, we know that Bradley, when we throw the jab, we know which way he goes. We've worked a lot on beating him with the uppercut. So we worked on that quite a bit. That's something that I don't think he can change or take away from him. It's more of a habit than a move that he makes. When he sees that jab coming, he always flips the same way. So we do want to take advantage of that. Yes.
Hey Freddie, Bob made it, he was pretty vocal yesterday. He's been furious all week about how the venue has had all the Mayweather paraphernalia everywhere, and he said that, you guys were pretty mad about it as well. And, how do you feel about it? Did Manny mention anything to you about the Mayweather stuff?
Manny hasn't even seen it. He comes in the hotel watching it. He don't give a shit. I don't care. It's not my decision. It's the hotel's decision to do that. We have more important things on our mind than a fucking picture on the wall. Okay? I don't care. It means nothing to me.
Do you think that this Tim Bradley is more dangerous than the first fight?
No, I don't. I think the punishment he took in the Ruslan fight and the concussions and so forth might make him a little more vulnerable than before. I don't know if he can take the kind of shots he took in that fight again.
But maybe he's a better fighter after the Marquez fight?
He boxed Marquez well, but let's face it, Marquez looked like shit. Marquez fought terrible that night. I mean, he wasn't the same guy that fought Manny Pacquiao for sure. I mean, I think he was on a different weightlifting program, but he wasn't the same guy for sure. He wasn't.
Freddie, the same, how you say it's in Manny's mind, that knockout, is that he won't take as many chances as he used to in the past. Do you think Bradley will take less chances because the Ruslan fight's in his mind?
Possibly, but the thing is that, like, when he starts getting hit, he does like to exchange. But he did learn. He could learn from that fight, definitely, yes. So that could have been a good lesson for him, and something that maybe he won't get so wild when he's up against the ropes and maybe in a dangerous spot.
I mean, that happened when you faced him the first time around. Every time Manny stunned him, his immediate reaction was to throw wild punches at Manny. Did you see anything in those exchanges that Manny could have did better to connect on him?
Yeah, because his exchanges are a little bit wide, and I think Manny can beat him down the middle. And I've always thought that. So I want Manny to throw more straight punches than overhand shots and wild shots. So I think we can beat him down the middle a lot easier than from the outside.
Freddie, Manny yesterday said that he feels right now the same kind of excitement as when he first was about to challenge for his first world title. Tell me, in your assessment, from 2001 to now, is there any difference in maybe his excitement and interest in the sport and for training and hunger to be great?
No, I don't think so. He's really hungry. He loves the sport. He's really hungry still. Yesterday, he's, when he starts imitating Bruce Lee in the ring and then he does the basketball and plays around, I know he's tired of training and ready to fight. So it's been, I like what I see because this has always been good. We've always had good results after when he does stuff like that. So, but it's natural for him, and you know, again, the fight's getting close. We have one more day of training today. We're going to shake out a little bit today, and I know he's kind of sick of training, and he's ready to fight.
What is it you think keeps him hungry, keeps him interested in boxing? Like, what goals do you think he still has?
Well, you know, being the best. I mean, being the #1 guy in the world is like something that everybody can't do, and he wants to get back to that point. And he still has the work ethic to do it, I feel. And his training methods, you know, are still unbelievable. He's still the hardest worker I've ever seen.
Do you think at some point, though, being the greatest for a long time, it loses its allure and that something else needs to be a goal?
I don't think so. I mean, you want to be the best at what you do. I'm sure you want to be the best at what you do. I mean, there might be better guys here, but I'm sure you want to be the best. I mean, you know, what we do in life, I think everyone in the world wants to be the best at what they do. I certainly do. It's good. Miguel told me if he was in shape for that fight like he was for his last one, he would have won that fight easily. And you know, the thing is, we got a big fight coming up. Martinez. If we get a win there, I'm sure Mayweather might be on the table.
Hey Freddie, let me ask you this. You talked about the problems of Tim Bradley doing a lot of foot movement. Have you guys really been working on cutting off the ring?
Well, of course. I mean, we work on stuff like that every day of our lives. I mean, the thing is, I want all my fighters to be really good at that and perfect at that. I mean, it's a lost art because, I mean, you know, when I had Miguel Cotto and Oscar De La Hoya, when I asked them to cut the ring off when I started training them, they didn't know how to do it. And I said, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I mean, this is like part of our sport. And, you know, so teaching those guys how to cut the ring off and getting them to do it is very satisfying. And, you know, because my trainer Eddie Fudge is really, really big on ring generalship, how to control the ring. If you can control the ring, you're going to make things a lot easier for yourself. So that's what I try to do with my fighters. I mean, it doesn't always come out exactly like I want, but you know, we work on it every day, and they get better and better at it. Because the more you do it, the better they get at it.
Because it seemed like in that fight with Pacquiao, Bradley started giving Pacquiao a lot of problems when he was moving to his left, and Pacquiao was mainly just trying to land the left hand. You guys are working on that too, I assume?
Of course. The thing is, because his escape is that way, and the thing is, he kind of knows that's our weak side, so we're trying to draw him into that and learn the shot a little cleaner and you not be dominant with just one hand, but with both.
Yeah.
Freddie, out of all the fighters that you've trained over the years, have you ever had another situation where a fighter started showing a little bit too much compassion in the ring? And if so, were you able to convert them back to how they were?
Most of my fighters throughout my lifetime, if they hurt you, they're going to kill you. I mean, not kill, but at least knock out.
I remember during the Eric Morales fights, Manny got infuriated just because Morales said in the first fight that he didn't really hurt him, and then he went for the kill in the next two fights.
I would love to see that guy come back right now, but the thing is, you know, again, we're trying to get it there, but we can't. You know, we're doing the best we can to get him not to be compassionate, but it's just it's not our choice. It's really his. You know, when the time comes, we will see.
So do you agree with sorry, go on, go. I was going to say, do you agree with Bob's comment at the podium yesterday when he said, you know, we're fighting a 2-to-1 fight at Bradley, and he said Mayweather's got a 15-to-1 opponent, and then he talked a little more, you know, later he talked about, you know, Mayweather's going to fight Amir Khan, and, you know, and guys that he considers quote-unquote easy, and that Manny's fighting a tougher fight. I mean, it seems like, you know, Maidana's a threat-type guy, you know, Canelo is a threat guy. I mean, do you buy what Bob said?
I don't think Canelo is the threat guy, but he's just a young fighter coming up. He's getting better and better, but I don't rate him so highly yet. But he has a lot to prove, I think. But yeah, you know, I honestly think Mayweather's more. The most important thing for him is to retire undefeated, and I don't think he'll take any chances in doing that, because when he retires undefeated, and you can say he's better than Sugar Ray Robinson and all these great fighters that have losses on their records, and he doesn't. He has an argument, I mean, he can argue the point.
Why not keep it?
I mean, so I think if he wants that 0 on his record so badly that he won't take a chance in fighting. I mean, we've tried negotiating with him before. I mean, we put Manny and him on the phone together, and he wants a 60-40 split. We said okay. He wants a blood test. We said okay. And then we don't hear. Then all of a sudden everything stops. But I'm really not worried about that fight so much, because I think if it was going to happen, it would have happened already.
But do you think then that in the fullness of time, when people look back in history, they will see that Pacquiao is the man that Mayweather didn't fight, rather than Pacquiao didn't get the Mayweather fight?
I don't think it'll come across that way. I think people will say, why didn't they fight each other? And blame both guys, to be honest with you, because the first negotiation we were against the blood test. It was kind of our fault that the first time it didn't work, and then we came to the point where we accepted that later on. But the thing is, I think it's going to hurt both guys.
How much do you think the promoters and the animosity the promoters had toward each other have hurt that fight?
100%. That's why. Fighters fight. To me, fighters will fight anybody. Fighters aren't. It's not like fighters are scared and stuff like this. I think a lot to do, especially a couple of years ago, a lot had to do with Golden Boy and Top Rank. I mean, just not wanting to work together. It's like I remember when Don King and Bob Brown were the big guys, and they hated each other, but they still promoted fights. But I don't know why these two companies can't, because the pool for our fighters now is getting much smaller, because it's two separate pools now. Right. And if they don't start crossing over, there's not going to be any more fights.
What was it like for you as a guy that, for a while you were managing training Golden Boy fighters and Top Rank fighters, right?
I still do.
But not as many as you have.
Not as many, but I still have Frankie Gomez.
Did that create issues for you? Like, you have Bruce on one end and
They never played the middle with me. I just dealt with each of them as individuals, and no one asked me to go with one side or the other. They were very respectful. I don't work for anybody, and I do whichever. If I have a new kid coming up, and Golden Boy makes me a better offer than Top Rank did, I will go with them. I have to go as best for the fighter.
Freddie, you seem to be suggesting just there then, that even about Floyd Mayweather, that perhaps he even wants the fights with Manny.
Excuse me one second, you guys are welcome to stay, but old Diaz is here on the other side if you need to talk with him. What?
You seem to be even suggesting that Mayweather actually wants the fight, or wanted the fight with Manny, but he was talked out of it by someone.
I know fighters, and fighters, they're not afraid of anybody in the world. I mean, they will fight each other, I think. But I can't read his mind, of course. The thing is, over time, it just why hasn't this fight happened? Every big fight that's ever supposed to happen has happened in the history of boxing. But sometimes sooner, sometimes later. But it's just like this one. Maybe it's too late at this point. How much interest is it? I mean, it's still a big fight, but it's not like it was 2 years ago.
I understand what you're saying, but I don't think sometimes fans do, so I want to ask you this question. You just said fighters fight and they'll fight anyway. But you also said previously when you were discussing Mayweather and knockouts, you said he doesn't have the balls to go for it. So I just want to get in your words to explain that, because some people will hear your two quotes and think they're contradictory.
Yes. The thing is, I think 2 years ago, Mayweather didn't want to fight me. But now, at this point in his career, he's so close to the end of his career.
Finishing undefeated.
He wants to finish undefeated, and I don't think why take that chance? That's how I feel. But the thing is, when they were both in their prime 2 years ago, and there's a lot of interest in the fight, I'm sure both fighters wanted to make that fight happen.
So when you look at Mayweather, and you go, he's got 3 fights after this fight left on his contract. if he is 48-0 going to that last fight, no matter who he fights, you know, can he finish at, you know, 49-0? Can he go away undefeated? It's going to be a massive 2 million pay-per-view, you would think, just because of what will be riding on it. So wouldn't he be wise at that point to say, let's fight Pacquiao because now I'm going to give myself the ultimate test of finishing my career against the hardest fight?
I agree with that, and I think I'm on our side. I honestly think a little bit that Bob wants that fight to be our last fight. I think that's what Bob.
Both guys going out?
I think yes, both guys. Yeah, I mean that would be a great finish, of course, and then Peter can finish my book.
Well, finally. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thanks, Freddie.
Freddie, on Mayweather, Pacquiao, and Bradley. Do you think potentially those three are the top 3 pound-for-pound fighters in the world at the moment? No. And if not, where do you place the 3 of them?
Andre Ward, probably.
Well, I'm asking Freddie.
Yeah, you know. Well, Andre hasn't fought in so long. I don't know what he's doing now. So he's inactive. He's a good fighter, but you know, he's not my favorite fighter and stuff like that. He's a nice guy, though. I like him as a person, but yeah, he's not my favorite fighter to watch and stuff. Because I like more action. You know? I like Joe Frazier better than Ali. You know, in the days because I like the action type guy. You know, so I'm always going to go to guys that can fight, that will fight.
So where are those 3 in your top pound-for-pound? Obviously, Pacquiao's 1, is he?
I mean, overall in my life, he's like the best fighter I've maybe ever trained. He's been the most successful, but like the most fun guy to train was James Toney. I mean, the most talent, the most natural talent maybe ever. I mean, he still wants to fight one more fight. I think, but I wish he would retire. But then when I did tell him to retire, he told me to go fuck myself. So. But you know, that's James. You know.
I'm sorry, gentlemen. He's got a scheduled live radio interview, and their time is coming up. I'm so sorry.